Thank you for visiting the Coin Lady channel again. Hey everyone, I've noticed a surge of optimism on the near-term trajectory of cryptocurrency markets. Naturally, this is occurring together with the increase in equity prices. We also know that the stock market and cryptocurrency are both seen as risky assets, and that their values tend to rise and fall together. Additionally, I will offer you the viewpoint of an XRP chart analyst who believes that XRP will accomplish it. I will also let you know at the beginning of the film that I agree with the feelings. Just so we're clear, I don't come from a financial family or anything. My counsel has nothing to do with money. By the way, you shouldn't base any purchases or sales on what I say, okay? All I am is a crypto enthusiast who loves to film films on YouTube. I do it for fun, though. This hot jam is keeping me up well past my bedtime, but it's all for fun. My time zone, Central Time, is currently 12 minutes after midnight. Today is Friday, May 10th, 2024. But I won't consider it Friday until I turn in for the night. Damn it, I won't go to sleep until tomorrow. Those are the lunar regulations. I hear the Lumbo channel took a hiatus. But XRP is trading at a little over 52 cents as I film this. Bitcoin, priced at $62,956 US. Quite a noticeable upswing. Interestingly, 63 hours earlier, the amount was 60-3,433. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index has jumped significantly from yesterday's 55 or 100 to today's 66, so it shouldn't come as a surprise. Thus, we are met. If you're new here, welcome. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. As I mentioned at the beginning, you might have heard this before, but the result is what makes it so special. However, crypto assets pose a risk to the assets in that class. As a whole, the asset class follows the stock market's every move. In particular, if you focus on the tech-heavy Nasdaq 100 stock index. When it all comes together, it shouldn't come as a huge surprise. The cryptocurrency asset class was more closely aligned with that than the more general stock market. So, what's going on? Because stocks and cryptocurrency have both seen pullbacks in the past few weeks. Even though he despises XRP, chart analyst Peter Brandt is widely considered to be among the most prominent voices in the cryptocurrency industry. Some folks merely do it for the same old reasons. You see, XRP derangement syndrome is a real thing. It exists in the actual world. It affects some people, I can tell you that. It is really regrettable. Yeah, I despise seeing it. While this is true, he often writes on completely unrelated topics. Plus, he shot to fame in the cryptocurrency community by predicting, much to everyone's dismay, that 2017 would see the peak of the Bitcoin bubble. About a year later, in late December 2018, he also correctly predicted when the market would bottom out. The S&P 500 is the chart he chose to share. The official term is Exchange Traded Fund, although this particular one follows the S&P 500. In essence, it is the same chart. Consequently, he penned the following. While it's understandable to fear a stock market meltdown, he emphasized that the onus of proof should be on the bears, not the bulls, because there is absolutely nothing negative about this chart. Consequently, he uploaded this at 10:13 a.m. Central Time. And we did see that Mark's stock was up significantly. I checked it before we recorded this video, and the S&P 500 was up about 1% and the Dow Jones was up about 5%. The Nasdaq 100 may have gone up or down, but it's good to know that it's green day everywhere. Reason being, I haven't exactly been sizzling as of late. Those percentages may not seem like much to you, either. However, the folks involved are just adorable. Their legacy financial stuff, which is their small 1% every day, is something they're quite pleased about. Accordingly, we figure that if something is good, it's about 1%. Perhaps it's because 2, 5, or 6 seconds have elapsed, but most likely it's because approximately 10 seconds have gone by. Yeah. Then I see how crypto has spoiled us. If this is true, though, and he actually believes what he writes about, then the S&P 500 and other stock market indices should continue their upward trends. The crypto asset class, and Bitcoin in particular, would shock me if they didn't follow. In addition, the asset class does, in fact, move in lockstep. What this means for XRP, the coin I'm most invested in, is a positive sign. As a biased person, I must admit, it's the most valuable asset I own personally. Look at this, though. I brought attention to this point back in January. Well, I brought it up a couple of times since then, but check this out. And now we have this article. Presented here by Forbes. The date is January 31st. The potential investment implications of a record-high S&P 500 this year. Pay attention to this since it is important. Stock market index recently recorded its first record close in over 2 years after plunging more than 25% in 2022. In January 2024, the S&P 500 climbed approximately 35%, reclaiming its previous all-time high. So, the market has entered a new bull phase. What is the next step? Is it time for investors to cash out and flee? Hold on a second. We can't predict with any degree of certainty how the stock market will do, but we may look to the past for clues. Does what Netflix is saying ring true with what many of us in the cryptocurrency industry have said, that the future is unpredictable? Not at all. But isn't there a certain rhyme to the way history unfolds? Yes, you can. To make educated guesses about what's likely to happen in the future, you know? I think it's obvious that you can. The answer is a resounding yes. Furthermore, I believe it is prudent to do so. Examines the S&P 500 statistics all the way back to 1958. After the stock market reached a new high after an extended period of inactivity, the following table shows 13 instances of its behavior. Now, I get that when prices are skyrocketing, you might wonder if it's a good time to buy. When something reaches a new all-time high, the subsequent rally may seem to last for an extremely lengthy period. Consider the 2020s, for example. Consider Bitcoin's recent record high, its first since 2017's top, and what wisdom this could impart regarding the previous cycle. Nearly 20 grand. Not until December of 2020 did it reach an all-time high. This was at a cost of around $20,000 at that point. Was the timing of DAP to Dubai poor? It would have been wiser to buy Bitcoin in 2018 when its price dropped to around $3,200. Was it really a horrible moment to buy while prices were at an all-time high? The past has shown us that after Bitcoin's all-time high, its price really more than tripled for that cycle. We need to reach approximately $69,000, you know. There was a bit over a threefold increase in crypto. Though it wasn't terrible in and of itself, the lack of excitement was due to the fact that altcoins were clearly the rage at the moment. Therefore, it's not catastrophic. That idea was so born. Here, the same holds true for stocks. That is the main idea, then. This is something you should probably look into. To me, this is when it all becomes intriguing. Also, I don't think many people realize how important this is to know. But this is why I'm simply considering the possibility that, for the better part of the next 12 months, stock prices will rise, which will lead to greater Bitcoin prices. Perhaps a peak will be visible in the year 2024. In the crypto world, that's totally doable. But in any case, you should see this. An entire year following the previous record high. Stocks had a good performance in 12 out of 13 occurrences, with an average increase of 15.3%. With stock prices going up 11 times out of 13, that average soared to 23% after 2 years. According to the numbers, once stock prices hit new highs, they usually stay there for at least a year or two. While there's no guarantee that will happen right now, looking back at the past highlights the possibility. In any case, the piece I read brought to light my recollection, which is that they tracked 12 out of 13 cases and the other 10 according to them. The most recent 10 out of 11 cases were positive. Consequently, 16% was the average for that piece. The average rises a year following a new peak. In that case, we're down to nitpicking. The data is essentially identical. You may be asking, well, why is this different, when I mentioned that 16% of you? Two more pieces of information are included here. The result was a somewhat, though not significantly, distorted average. This all-time high was reached in January of this year, so if we're talking about the S&P being up 15 to 16%, then history will kind of repeat itself. Given that cryptocurrency prices tend to rise and fall in tandem, what do you think will happen to them? How does that impact alternative cryptocurrencies, which usually burst following Bitcoin's lead? Although I mentioned it more than 3 times before, when Bitcoin set its new all-time high last cycle, I didn't anticipate that you would know, so I get it. Once we do, we can make price predictions, but I still don't think it will happen. It's more lucrative. The fact that it reached a new all-time high of almost $69,000 is irrelevant because a lot more money needs to come in for it to quadruple. While I don't rule out the possibility, it doesn't imply it will triple from there. I mean, a lot of the analysts I follow, the ones I consider to be the most credible, are predicting prices of $120,000 to $150,000 at the peak, but many of them are also willing to admit that prices may go higher. This is why it's not completely out of the question. The video concludes with that. It would mean the world to me if you could subscribe to my channel and like it. Muchas gracias, depart.